Hey guys, and welcome to the Mysteries of Selindor, episode 127. I am your GM Gagnor, and it's been a long time since we played. It's been a hot second, minute, hour, day, week, almost a month. Seti, what did we do last week? Anything fun?
Last week we
Nothing.
did
What did we
nothing.
do a month ago?
I believe it was 3 weeks ago. We did a bunch of stuff. We went back into the dream world to deliver the sword that we got. And the Raven Queen gave me the soul trap that will anchor Orin to his new body. Gave it to Grim for safekeeping.
Yeah, that's right. I got that thing, don't I?
We got Bala to send us to the celestial realm the next night so that we could try to find a celestial creature to provide a hair or skin sample for the making of Oren's body. And I'm trying to cut a long story short. We met with Mitnir's dad, Bahamut. And
That is a strong term.
well, for lack of a better word. We found out that Oren isn't actually Oren. He's some other creature from time before time that served a lady that had a bladed crown and is unknown to Bahamut. And
The primordial goat.
And yeah, so he was part of a group of entities that had their essence twisted to become avatars of Northought, to serve Northought. And the introduction of OG Orin and the runes on his body helped him separate out from the Northought avatars to become his own person, apparently, is my understanding of how that went down. So that's what we're dealing with, which kind of changes the way we're looking at this whole situation. But we're moving ahead with making the new body to separate Northought and Orin, or whatever. Not Northought, whatever's in there.
Because he's like Northought before Northought was Northought, right?
That is what they have determined his original soul is some sort of entity that has been
It was its
sort
own
of
thing before
morphed and
Northought.
changed by Northought into whatever these incarnations of Northoughts are. The things that run about and do its bidding. They don't seem to speak, they basically just scream whenever you see them, typically speaking. Every now and again, they will speak in the voice of Northought, but it's very rare. I don't think you guys have actually spoken to an avatar, like an incarnation of Northought. You've spoken at least one of you has spoken to Northought properly, and that was Orin whenever he was originally sucked to the far shore.
Yeah,
Are these
so
the things that come and grab?
Yeah,
Like,
these are the ones that are
whenever,
constantly showing up and killing entities and turning them into fractures, or
Okay.
every time time stops and Orin sees them just moving about, doing things in the background. And every time you guys travel via a means that isn't teleportation, that is actually using the movement systems of Selindor and its many different demiplanes, you enter a realm in which you are in a cylindrical tower of portals, and everything else is darkness. And the things that are moving about between these portals are the same as well. These goat-like entities that you have run into since the beginning of the campaign.
yeah, so crazy stuff. So we learned that. We got sent back with a Hollyphant, who's now residing in our mansion, eating all our food. We had our fortunes told again in the celestial realm, and Grim got the key, Bropsy got the throne, said he got the path. We kind of figured that Primus might be our only shot at identifying whatever it was that Orin was before, and maybe who the Blade Lady is. And then we spent some more time training. Grim finished his potions. I worked on Orin's new inner realm. Orin worked on the ring for Caldera. Mitnir continued proselytizing New Death to the people. And Archie, I think, finished the eyes, or at least was working on them. And then Grim drew from the deck of many more things and got the ship. And that is where we left off.
Right. So as we come into either the end or the beginning of week, I don't know.
We're starting week 9.
8 or 9, on that cusp, you hear shouting from somewhere within the various workshops of the Temple of Purity. You hear, Eureka, everybody! I've done it! I created eye oglers! Woohoo!
Sati starts clapping, playing a fanfare.
I'm going to call them ogle balls. Here
I love
you go.
it. Genius inspired.
Ogle balls, sir. And he comes to you with this very ornate-looking box that you can tell is freshly made, the box itself. You're not sure what he spent more time on. This very beautiful, delicate box with a velvet-lined interior. As you open it up, you see what appear to be two orbs, spherical orbs, that appear to be made of like a sort of blue jelly. And then have had white painted on around the iris, so that they look like they have some sort of actual like opaque white to the eye. Otherwise, they appear to be like crystal blue. And then they have little gold inserts all around. He says, these will go perfectly into the brain. And you see they've got like this, not like an actual nerve, but like a system of like little cogs and what appears to be like a almost like little wire, but it's made out of aquam. Just plug these suckers straight into that brain I made, and you'll have yourself a nice little Ogbot.
Wow. This is a pretty fancy box for just delivering me some eyes, you know.
Well, you know, how would you like your eyes delivered normally? Would you want me to just show up, but drop a couple of balls into your lap and say, here you go? They need to be handled with care.
I think it's magnificent.
Although technically, and he starts flicking them, he's like, they're probably going to be fine.
I mean, I've assumed we would just, install them, like, when they were done.
I think you should keep them. I want to see what happens.
He just keeps, like, he flicks them and they kind of just bloop. Just kind of like bloop.
Wait, does this mean
aquam before? It's made out of, they're made primarily out of aquam, the surface. And you know that aquam is pretty resistant to most impact force.
It's really fun to watch. I think this is good to know. So when we're done with making a new orange, we could just keep flicking him in the eye.
Yeah, if we poke you in the eye, it's going to be totally fine now.
Yeah,
not that I'm planning on poking you in the eye, but it's good to know that it won't
him
hurt
in the eye.
if I
like,
do.
hey, Oren, flick.
Well, we have designed his body to be able to feel pain.
I'll run up and
he
go,
will still feel the pressure of you knocking him in the eye, but it won't damage him as much. I think his soul will probably still register it as, holy shit, stop flicking me in the eye. Ow, ow, ow. Like Phantom
should probably
Limb.
flick him in the eye now, and then see how he reacts, and then compare the two just for experiments.
Scientifically speaking, this is sound. We need a control group. Come here, Orin.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So he's just like kind of chasing Orin around the workshops. Oh boy, please behave. I don't want any of you running around like this within my temple. What? I believe you have your eyeballs ready to go then. That means we only have one thing left. And I have heard, Telltale, that there is in fact an envoy being sent here pretty soon. He arrived at the Gap just recently, not the Gap, the other one, the Budhole just recently. So I believe within a half day's time, we should be receiving a package or two. Woo-hoo.
Great. Everything is coming to a conclusion here.
Yes, indeed. Well, as it is, let's get as many things set up here as we possibly can. If you don't mind, either you go in and get your eyeballs planted into your head, although we could wait until maybe the last minute, because it's quite creepy to have an eyelidless, sort of quasi-mechanical body just staring at us all, especially with no soul inside of it. It's like a creepy little doll. Although I do love creepy little dolls, I must say. He's sort of like, you hear him like sort of skittering down the hallway as he just his mini crab-like legs as he sort of like walks sideways along the walls to pass by people, still talking and refusing to slow down for you guys.
Do I add anything for how these were made?
They're exquisitely made. And if you would like to breath upon them, you most certainly can. It's entirely up to you.
Probably a good idea.
Sure. That is a 76. I think that's too low.
Only you were level 24.
That's too low.
Yeah.
So the eyes are in fact made.
Yep. So yeah, the only thing left, I believe, is the skin.
Indeed.
Oh, the muscles, they finished, right?
Yeah, they're just sort of like, they're kind of still developing. I think the serum has been administered to them.
They still need to grow.
But they're still growing. But they have been getting potions of like growth serum.
And then
That
the vascular system we've had to fix, right? That was the lung stuff.
Yeah, I mean they had to fix your respiratory system, but those have been repaired in this time. Just because it's been enough time for us that I want to believe that's been done for you guys in game at this point. Most everything is ready to go. In fact, as you start, if you would like to put the eyes in now, which you can, just go ahead and make me a one of your tinkering checks to put the eyes in. If you would like, you could get help from somebody with medical knowledge.
That Bropsy helping?
Always.
So with Bropsy's help, go ahead and roll with advantage.
$26.
26. Yeah, you're easily able to slot them in, and you can hear the sounds like, as you know, Bropsy's trying to like sort of connect the little tubes back in there for you, sort of help you out. And as you socket them in, there's kind of like a clicking sound as they finally do set in, and they kind of whir and spin in your head for a moment until they've like screwed into the brain itself. Like you can hear like the clicking, locking mechanism of it all connecting into itself. And you guys have a really creepy looking thing going on here. It is certainly the inside of Orin, or what you would imagine the inside of Orin probably looks like now, except for maybe a bit more mechanical than Orin himself would be.
I'm not imagining that.
So just for the notes here, for the vascular system, I don't have any additional comments for it. I don't know if Semner had to make a roll or anything, or Grim had to make a roll.
It should be good. I mean, because the initial vascular system was like the tubing, and I believe you actually made the tubing, right?
I
The
think
core,
so.
I think the heart and core was made by Egelman. And then you guys made the vascular system, you and St. Chortle.
No, me and
You guys
Chortle
made
made the heart.
Oh, you
Yeah.
guys made the heart. Okay.
Yeah, Grim made the
I think I
vascular
made
system.
the tubes. Yeah, I made
It's like
the veins, right?
The lungs and the esophagus and stuff, right?
Well,
That
that's
stuff.
That's the respiratory.
That's the respiratory
system.
system.
I don't have a list for respiratory system.
Oh, yeah. Well, the respiratory system's well made. The vascular system.
Yeah. All of the rolls on those were like good. They were like high 20s or low 30s or something.
Everything was like at least, done in a way that was acceptable or well made. Some of them were exquisitely made. Those are the ones that were like 30 plus or close to 30.
I don't think anything was below like a. Nothing was below like a 25. I think most things were like 28-ish. But
You
it'd be
guys
hard
have
to go back and
made a pretty
check it.
neat thing up in this joint.
I was just missing the respiratory system in my list then.
Cool beans. All right. So with that, you guys have done most, like you're 99% of the way done with this thing. The muscles are growing at a nice pace. Like they look like they need to be used to like really get into the correct positions. They have to get the feel of his body to shape themselves properly. And you will probably be getting like some sort of like injections after you enter this body to sort of facilitate the growth to match your movements to make them as they need to be optimal. So there's going to be a little after you've moved in kind of malaise and a little bit of getting used to the new body. But till then, you guys are virtually done without the outer shell / skin arriving. So, with that said, they've heard that this procession or envoy, as they said, should be arriving within like the next day. So, what would you guys like to do in the meantime?
Who's gonna go train? Cool.
I think
All right.
I'll just work on the rings I was making.
Grim
All right,
has
so you go back to
plans.
working on the rings. What are you going to go do, Grim?
I'm just gonna go train.
Okay. So you can get about 24 hours of training in if you like.
Yes.
Well, not 24 hours, like 16 hours, but a day of training.
I also want to like. I want to call the Nexus and see if Inoki is in, but probably she isn't.
Okay. Yeah, so you messaged the Nexus to see if she is
Like in the embassy.
in the embassy currently. So this has been like, what's it been, like a day since you guys left? Is that right? 2 days?
It's been 9. It's been 8 weeks here.
So
it's been
it's
2
been
days.
2 days. Yeah, so currently when you message in, because you don't have a direct line to Inoki, but you call in to see if the ambassador's in, and she is not currently the one that is sitting at the embassy. There is a representative there that can pass a message along, though.
Oh, okay. I just asked. Oh, can you ask Inoki? I talked to a different ambassador at some point who let me go visit a realm, but keep the time difference that with the cauldron. I was wondering if Inoki would be capable of doing that. If you could have her ask if she might be able to contact me in my inner realm, that would be great. So I could talk to her about that. I have a question to ask her. That'd be great. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Yeah. That has been sent off. They must contact her and get back to you, so that could be a couple weeks.
So, or no, I can always just ask Seti to help me contact her in her realm or whatever. So I'm gonna go kill some stuff, train or whatever.
Right. So you go train. Anybody else? Seti, Mitnir?
I'll probably spend more time working on Orin's Inner Realm if I don't know exactly what was happening with that.
Yeah, because I don't think you guys have really discussed what was happening with that. So far as I'm aware, you guys have a black empty void that you've started to form into some sort of demiplane.
Yeah, I mean, like, so Orin needs to figure out what his true self's inner realm would look like. And Seti can help guide him through manifesting that. But has to have something to work with. We could maybe even harken back, throw in some elements of what I saw with the dome and the lit runes and like the languages with the equations and stuff. Like maybe just like a vague reminder of the dome.
I don't know what dome you're talking about, actually.
Well, I had I was sitting with his soul trinket and meditating, and I like found myself, and it was basically like lit runes surrounding her in a dome, and it was those strange runes.
Oh, yeah, the runes that were surrounding you. Yeah.
So maybe kind of like have like an element
It
of
wasn't
that in
like
there.
it was like the sort of like surround you in the sense that like, you're sitting on the ground. It would be like a sphere around you if there was no ground.
Mhm.
But in that sense, it's like a dome, right? But it's basically just all the symbols that these creatures used to seem to communicate with.
Yeah.
Seem to like create a tapestry around you as you tried to interpret what was going on
I
within
think
the
I
soul
would
trinket.
use what I saw as like a starting place to see if it brings anything out in Orin.
Yeah, so Oren said he will at some point during either the end of that past week or start of this one. Speaking of which, did I make you roll for last week?
Wait, which roll?
You did.
To see
You
if
made him roll,
you. Okay, cool.
and he
Yeah,
was
so
fine.
you still have another week before you have to roll to see if your brand, your
Yeah, I did that roll.
runes fall off.
I didn't
Oh
do a
no!
roll for the ring stuff from last time though.
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
That was what, intelligence plus proficiency?
Yes.
That was that 8 that he rolled.
Yeah.
That's-
Oh, Mitnir, you did have your fortune told by the
Yeah, but he
Havarkon.
told me I was gonna basically see an impressive god, blah 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 blah
Meet
blah
a
blah blah.
deity soon. That okay, that would help
Which
you.
we
Yeah,
literally
gotcha.
walked forward and did.
Yeah, you rolled the
Yeah.
temple, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which was just hilarious. He's like, well, sometimes it's not that far in the future.
Yeah.
But I got an 18 for the last week's crash.
Yeah, so you're making progress, but they shouldn't be completed yet.
No, not yet. I'd have to put a. How much percent would you say?
I would say probably about 20%.
Okay. And then I'll be working on that more today.
Cool beans. As you're working on those and tinkering on something particularly delicate, Seti bursts into the room.
Wow.
Seti, you have a prototype for his thing, and go ahead and do it in character if you'd like.
I've got it, Orin. I have a prototype for your thing.
Wait, which thing? There's so many right now.
She walks in and you forgot to make a penis.
Oh, you know
I
what? You're
didn't
right.
forget that. Are you kidding me?
I've been making that in secret.
No, Grid made that when he made the what systems was that? The
The
endocrine system.
endocrine.
I got that.
Yeah.
Made it nice and small for you.
Efficiency.
you won't be as heavy.
It's a grower, not a shower.
Aerodynamic.
Yeah. No, it's.
I'm sorry, you're gonna say all that and not make a joke about accidentally giving Beelan Orin a vagina? Like, hello?
Give
Grim
him
doesn't
both.
know.
It's the most aerodynamic option.
You can replace it.
Look, I made him be able to reproduce asexually. It's perfect. Perfect system.
Very efficient. No, for your thing, and I'll just minor illusion like what I've come up with for the inner realm.
Okay.
So it's basically just a big dark void with a sphere of a bunch of random symbols that she's just replicated as almost like a projector.
Yeah, it's like one of those planetariums, but it's got writing on it instead.
What am I?
So,
1d8 plus
I have
proficiency.
some thoughts for this whole inner realm thing.
Hit me.
So, what you're trying to do now is essentially part of what I was before. I'm not familiar with it. That's not who I am now.
Yeah, I thought about that. I was like, I just have to start somewhere, and I thought maybe we could draw something out. But if it's a sound rejection from you, that's fine. We'll scrap it and start over.
Yeah, I'm not trying to relive the past, really. Like, I don't know anything about that life. all I know is what I've lived currently. Which, there's been good times and bad. I think for the inner realm, I would love if we could do like a little, monk abbey on a lake in a forest. Remind me of the times when me and Bropsy would just hang out by the lake in the woods near the monastery.
That's pretty good. Okay, and I'll minor illusion what I think that looks like.
Yeah. Okay.
Is Roxy
So
here for this conversation?
she makes a couple of pillars and like a little bit of a dome
She could be.
on top of the pillars. That's like, and then there's like a little statue of like a guy with like his hands out going, like just shrugging, like, is this good? And then there's like some trees in the forest, and that all looks good around it, and like a little bit of water at the base of what is basically like I don't want to. I'm not exactly sure what they're called.
I'm thinking maybe like the border of this space is forest, and then
Yeah.
everything else is water. Like you could walk on it, and then coming up in the middle is the kind of minimalist idea of a structure.
A temple, right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The temple doesn't have any like real structure to it. It's just a couple of pillars with like a top.
Like what
And,
you
like-
might see in a dream,
Yeah.
where things aren't quite complete. They're a little surreal.
In the Matrix, when Neo first fights Morpheus in that building in the middle of a lake?
Yes, I'm familiar with this movie.
Yep. That's what that's what
Okay, yeah.
that's what I think of when you were describing that.
Yeah, that works. It's a good scene.
Everyone in Selindor has seen that movie.
Everybody. Yep,
The great
classic.
sage Morpheus.
Yes.
The god of dreams.
It's more.
All right, so I guess you can take that and begin working on it. If you would like, go ahead and make me a. This is going to be based off of wisdom.
Every time with
me-
the wisdom.
Give me wisdom with proficiency.
Okay, so we'll add a +5. Oh, okay. 20. 30, 20.
With a dirty 20, you're able to form this very naturally, especially since you have a movie reference to go off of. It feels so easy to just like sort of shape it up. There's like definitely some sort of like nice temple situation, but it's a little bit less like traditional in what we would imagine for like a temple in Dungeons and Dragons. It's a little bit more Eastern themed in the design aspects of it, and it sort of forms itself very naturally as you begin working on it. Like, I'm just thinking about Oren and the kind of outfits he wears, and those would look good in here. But you can't help but the top of the room itself, the very like center of this, seems to open out onto the water with like these sort of if I'm not mistaken, kind of like paper like doors. Is that kind of what they had? It was like the kind of Japanese style paper doors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's like the doors around and like sort of like strong wood pillars in the corners. But when you look up into the ceiling, you see what appears to still be some sort of constellation design within it. And then rather than stars, you still see those runes. Whatever it is, you weren't able to keep that out of your mind whenever you were forming this.
I mean, they were more interesting than the stars, in my opinion, so.
So I would say that's going to take you the whole day to sort of like form this, although it happens fairly naturally.
While I'm working on it, can I do that in the mansion? Because that's where my kitten is, and I keep forgetting that we have kittens. And I want to know if the kitten and the Hollyphant have been playing.
The Hollyphant and the kitten. Yeah, so go ahead and roll me a d20 for that. Like, I haven't made a decision. Let's go with
I
random.
will supply all the sound effects for this encounter.
9.
9. They haven't really interacted. From what you know from your
Well,
unseen
Time to
servants,
set up a
is
play date.
is that the Hollyphant has mostly been in the kitchen, constantly demanding food.
Fair enough.
They have been working overtime to provide some amount of sustenance for this Hollyphant that is like sitting there going.
Hollyphant's just gonna be a full size.
And he's got a whole like banquet. Like they're like there's like a list of unseen servants just like carrying platters. You just see platters floating to him, and they're like small dishes, but he wants to try everything that this demiplane has to offer.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what it's here for. So.
Meanwhile, your kitten is
Playing with
where
my
is your
kitten.
Here, here, kitty.
Here. And you look up, and sitting at like the top of the banister on the second level in the main house area is this tiny little gray kitten.
How'd you get
That's
all the way
kitten,
up
right?
there? Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys.
Well, come down.
Just kind of like so high up.
I will bamf out my wings and go get her.
Yeah, you get up there, and she's just kind of like purrs and jumps in your lap and seems to have missed you because you've been busy.
Yeah, I do it like every night when we go to sleep. I'm sleeping in the mansion. The cat's ideally in my room. So like, it hasn't been said, but you know.
Yeah. Minir, what are you up to today?
I think I'm gonna try and get another level before we leave this place. So I'm gonna train, but under the thing of like skirmishing with people there, like in town, like anybody who wants to like brawl.
All right, so
like,
you walk in and set down your massive greatsword in the middle of town, and then like throw down like a hat or something, and little sign that says "Challengers Welcome" or something like that, right?
Yeah. Instead of just fighting monsters like actual opponents.
So, with the amount of work you've put in spreading the name of New Death and the individual names of your group, people know who you are when you do this. They're like, "Oh, he's the guy. He's a member of New Death. He's the one who's been talking about how great they are." And they're like, "Huh, they can't be that great if he's the only one talking about it." It's like, "Oh, I heard they're pretty strong." And so you do get like a group of dudes that show up that are like, a couple of them are some of the shark folk. That are just like, he's not that tough. Like hundreds of teeth in their mouth as they come up to you, like, let's go, little man. So you get a couple of challengers that immediately show up. But there's not like much of a scene at first. Go ahead, and I'm gonna do rollies with you. Go ahead and add your strength. And then, where are my dice? Dice? Dice.
And like he's
I got a 17.
Yeah, he's not trying to hurt anyone. It's just trying to like, you know,
Yeah,
get
spar.
fights. Okay, D20.
Yeah, plus your strength.
That is 23.
Okay. So the first biggest, strongest guy comes up to you and he's like, let's go. You guys immediately lock into like some like light fisticuffs, you know, just dancing around this way. People are cheering. A circle starts to form, and you kick his ass within 3 minutes. And then people start talking, the word spreads, and they say, hey, guys, the Blue Man Group is beating the shit out of people. And then everybody in the bar just like drops all their shit and there's a huge clamoring. They're like, don't worry, guys, I'll bill you later. Don't miss this. And you can like see like everybody's like coming out. So the Gap has now turned into a raucous place where just about everybody, you've got kids out there cheering, women screaming. There's probably about maybe like 200 or 300 people that are sitting around in a big circle, and you have created a sort of like boxing pit. And during the day, you fight a total of 33 people.
It's like
Nobody gets hurt, but a couple people get some bruises and like a couple of black eyes here or there. But in general, most of them submit once they go down on their back. And you make me a performance check because I want to see how everyone perceives you.
I like to think of this as like the Beatles, and like the women are throwing their bras at the boxing
It's
pit.
a 14.
With a 14? Yeah, people like find you. There's a small amount of fear there, but most people just look at you with respect and awe. Your strength here seems pretty much absolute.
And I'm gonna when people do go down, hand to help them up and everything.
Right? Yeah, and that's the sort of magnanimous. So they still like look at you with a bit of fear, but mostly it's awe and respect. Because like you seem to be treating everybody nicely while at the same time asserting your dominance. And it sort of like gives this feeling of closeness while also keeping you at a distance as above them, which serves your purposes of deification quite well. All right. So you do that today. You can go ahead and put down you've got a day worth of training, however you guys were calculating that. Roxy, are you doing anything in particular today, or are you just helping out where you can?
Well, Brapsy's default is always help, but if she doesn't have any tasks to do, I think last time you said instead of like sparring for training, we could like Brapsy do potions.
Yeah, you can work on whatever you wanted to be doing.
Yes.
To train. I don't know how much training you've done so far.
Well, I've got one level thus
far. She just got a level.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if that's going to happen again, but like she still wants to like put her time into that. And I know like there's a garden in the mansion place. Like, are we growing stuff for potions? Is that a thing that I can do time in? Like,
you can certainly start trying to. You've got a few materials that you've gotten. I do believe you guys harvested some Moonstalker. And I believe that Grim specifically, I don't think you said anything about it, but I know Grim specifically harvested some ghost orchid seeds, some black ghost orchids.
Thought I assisted with that.
Maybe some seeds. I don't remember exactly what he did.
You could try. I have one black ghost orchid and 3 seeds.
So he has 3 seeds. So it's up to you if you want to try and grow something. But based on where you saw and how these black ghost orchid seeds were growing, make me an herbalism check.
Okay, 1 second.
That's wisdom proficiency.
I ran to go get food, so I'm running back.
Well, yeah, they need decaying matter. Yeah, they're.
You said an herbalism check, which is. God, I never remember which one is which. I think that one's wisdom, right? So.
Yeah, herbalism is wisdom, and alchemy is intelligence.
Okay, well that's. 19? No, 21. Math.
21. With the 21, you know that standard soil will not work. They need to be growing on something that is in a very dark place. So with the exception of what you've had, because there's lots of light and everything's, sort of consistent there. You would have to have like a cordoned off space if you wanted to do it with the rest of the garden. Also, they seem to grow on trees. And specifically, the tree that you remember seemed to be pulling from dirt that was not fertile. Whatever energy it was pulling from that seemed, and this is based off we rolling above a 20, seemed to be the inverse of whatever gives the energy and life to normal matter. Within that space, there was more negative energy being pulled. So whatever it is, it's going to have some special circumstances. You're not sure exactly what is needed, but you would need to be replicating something similar to a lair of the abyss for those to grow well. Or if not the abyss, then maybe the Shadowfell.
Okay. Well, putting that flower specifically aside, could Bropsy like run to the alchemy store and like buy some plants and then like?
Yeah, you could probably get your hands on a couple of plants. I don't think you're going to get anything rare, but you could get a couple of rare, common and uncommon materials, and I'll say that you've got space to grow 10 individual crops.
Okay.
So
Plant's starting now, boys.
So what you've currently got is you've got Moonstalker, which still would probably grow down where Grim has things, because Grim, your under area, you've also probably, I'm going to say there you also have 10 plots basically worth of different things you can grow.
You get that aqua watering can.
That includes your mushrooms. Like Moonstalker would be one of those that likes to grow in the dark and the damp. Anything that says that grows in a swamp would grow well down there. Or anything that's like got cave growth in it. Bropsy, anything that will grow up in the greenhouse would be anything that grows in a plain or forest. So you just sort of like pick things out if you guys want to like sort of create.
I'll read through the book and see what I'm gonna.
Yeah, then you guys can definitely work on that. Could be homework that you hope maybe you're gonna forget. But
I will probably forget it, but I'll try my best.
That's okay. You can try your best. So everybody is mid-swing in all of this work. When in the middle of the day, or sorry, not in the middle of the day, but the middle of the next day, before you guys have gotten full swing into your priorities for the day or what you're going to try to work on, the procession that is the envoy of Primus has made it close enough to the Temple of Purity, the Temple of Vedava, that you guys have like heard and seen like sights of people like beginning to like make a ruckus about it. It's not one person. It is in fact somewhere around 50 Modron of various sizes and shapes that are walking at a very, very slow pace the multiple miles that is the walk from the center of the butthole up to Vedava's temple along the bridge. And it appears that every like 30 or 40 feet, they do like a little like chant and like tap their spears that don't actually like have anything sharp on the top. They just appear to be like different shaped cogs and things. And they'll just like tap it and go, oh. And then they'll start walking like 15 paces or so. And then they'll do it again. Oh. And they've just been doing that for like a day now, moving from the butthole all the way to Vedava's temple.
We could have gone and brought them faster, but I don't want to interrupt their chanting.
Yeah, you guys, if you guys are traveling anywhere, like Mitnir, you've been traveling like every day, like doing like the full thing, like a jog, and it takes you like 4 or 5 hours, like every day, like back and forth to like make the trip, and you've passed these guys. Right, going to the gap and coming back. You've passed this group of like boxes and cylinders that seem to be chanting and walking in a procession of like there's like just like a line of 2 lines of 25 different shaped Modrons that are just and they're carrying a box, like a kind of palanquin box. Basically, like they're carrying the Ark of the Covenant.
Right. Have you guys seen those guys yet?
No, what's all the noise?
Silly. I don't know. Is the package we're supposed to be getting big or small?
We don't know.
Oh. So that might be someone else's delivery.
Well, it's a bunch of weird-looking dudes, so...
I'm just saying, like, they are slow, so if it's not yours, it's going to be like another 3 weeks before we get whatever you're looking for.
Should we go meet them?
After a day, they're about halfway there.
They're maybe halfway here? Shrugs.
We should probably just go meet them then. I don't know.
Yeah, let's go meet them. It'll be faster, and we'll find out what's going on, and we can stop listening to that distant chant every 15 minutes.
Oh, I can make it closer. Oh, we on hits the table.
Oh, no. Well, it's not the
Table
fact that
shatters.
I don't want it to be closer. I want it to stop. It's been stuck in my head and just going, oh, yeah, over and over again.
Yeah, the last thing I need is her putting that in my inner realm.
If it sneaks in there, I'm so sorry, but it's their fault, not mine.
Does his inner realm get a soundtrack?
I mean, it could. I was thinking the sound of moonlight sparkling on water, though.
you hear clearly say, "Oh yes, yes, yes." I love the sound of moonlight sparkling. It's hard to hear, but when you've been around, say, 200-300 years of meditation with nothing but the sparkling of moonlight to listen to, you can hear it. It's like wind.
It's kind of
chime.
like what we're listening to right now.
I literally
iTunes.
can't hear anything. It's so quiet.
Or hear me out. We can give him a nice subtle chant.
Very distant.
Whoa. Just like a didgeridoo playing in the background. All right, so you guys head down the aquam bridges that connect the Budhole to the many other locations within the Quixotic Clock. And as you do, you guys go in. It's probably only like maybe like a 2-hour walk. As you guys, unless you want to go faster, but walking it's about 2 hours before you see like, and you can feel the kind of like a little bit of a jiggle, and then like maybe like 30 seconds later, another as the Aquam Bridge just kind of like a little pulse runs off of it, and you can see in the distance as they all tap their spears at the same time and begin moving like 15 paces, and then to turn, and you can hear ooh. Is there any specific way you guys would like to approach, or
Just shove Orin out front.
Yeah, I'll lead the way. It is for me, so hopefully they know that.
bunch of different Modrons? So you get within like maybe 50 feet of them, and then like the one at the head kind of looks up at you, and then like places it down, and then raises like a little mechanical hand and goes, "Halt!" And he looks you over. He says, "State your name."
I am Orin. Is this the package being delivered to me from Primus?
He looks at you with one like watery eye and looks you like just like dashing around looking at all the other individuals. Prove you are who you say you are.
How? You want to look at my seal? I'll pull my seal out.
A seal may be stolen. Show us something only Orin would do. And they all just like look, like eyes just popping up from all sides.
All right, so I guess Orin will go into some kung fu motions and shoot some bolts out of his hands.
They watch you do this and they go, "What's he doing?" "I don't know." "Is that something Orin would do?" "Primus spoke nothing of the strange dance." The one that had the head just like moves towards you and says, "We have heard that you are one touched by Primus and Nirvana. Can you not show us your prowess?"
All right. I'll put my hands in front of them and start like making weird tools and shit out of the fingers and stuff.
He looks at you and goes, "Oh, the hands of the architect." And you see as they all raise their hands. And then like they begin. They begin like dancing around you. La, 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 la. There's like this small circle of like little dancing Modron just like chanting and singing. And then the box is like brought up and like lifted up in the air and like dancing around you. And then and then set in front of you. And then all of them, they put their spears on the ground, and the spears themselves just lay there with like a clatter. And then they're all just kind of bowing to you and says, Primus have brought upon you the holy exaltation. The creation of a Modron outside of the Modron race. A unique being. It has never been done before. The time is usually created and one is promoted, but you have cut in line. You will be numbered among the Tertians, among the Secundus. You are an exterior entity, and as such, you are part of our world. Welcome, brother. And the box opens up, and you look inside, and there's just a molten sphere of gold.
Well, thank you, brother.
He goes, I have no gender.
Okay,
Sibling.
then.
Very well. Thank you so much for receiving this. We shall now go. And then they turn around, and you watch as one goes and jumps onto the other one, and the next one goes and jumps onto the stack, and they and they start like just jumping onto each other and like creating like this long tube, like like different shaped. Like some of them are squares, some of them are like triangles or like pyramids. And they're all a bunch of different shapes. And it's like they kind of create this weird worm of like these different things, and then the spears like pick up off the ground and attach into them, and then they just go. It's just like as like this big giant like weird like centipede made of metal. They just like zip down on away like super fast straight down the rainbow bridge of Aquam back towards the butthole, and it takes like or not towards the butthole past you into the Temple of Vedava. They start knocking people out of the way, and it's just like abrupt and fast and almost violent as they exit.
That was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, apparently they really want to get back.
You know what the terrifying thing is? Those are supposed to be agents of pure order. And I have never seen anything more chaotic than that.
Well,
Maybe
order
they
is
get
about
weird when they
balance,
leave
right?
Selindor.
Maybe there wasn't enough chaos in the world at this particular moment.
Or
It
they
is
just
possibility.
get weird when they leave Selindor.
Well,
Yeah, let's take your skin back, I guess.
Yep. Have to figure out how this thing works. Or
yeah, it's like
slap it
just
on.
opaque, kind of just swirling sphere of gold.
We just dunk the body into it. Just
Maybe you
Or
just
do
put
we
it on
pour
the
it
head
over?
and it just goes over everything. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Figure it out. So you guys, you return back to the Temple of Vedava, unless some of you probably poke into your own rooms or whatever that you have within Seti's demi-plane that you created, or wherever you'd like to be. But Orin, you have what is effectively your skin. It is up to you what you would like to do with it.
I believe, weren't we also sent an equation and stuff?
Yeah, I think Archie was working on that. For
There
the
were
skin.
some people working on it.
For the skin, yeah, I don't remember exactly what was going on there. It's been
The
too
equation was
long.
like
Yeah,
the equation was like he gets into the equation along with when we asked for the skin, and it was like to help us like with attaching the skin since we were combining organic and inorganic parts.
Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah. So you guys have the sphere. The inside of the box, when you open the lid, that equation will be lined inside of the interior of the box. What is apparently what appears to be like some sort of blinking, not quite blinking, but like sort of like lightly glowing blue lit screen almost on the interior. And when you look inside, there's this equation, and when I say equation, it looks more like a like runic circle of just like magical equations, as opposed to like a squared plus b squared equals it's more of just like a magic circle with like the different things that are used to create like a magic ritual.
Yeah, gotcha.
So
probably bring in Archibald and Saint Chortle.
Yeah, as you grab Archibald, Saint Chortle, and I would only assume Mercule.
Yep.
The three most annoying, most intelligent individuals you've ever met, all in one room. And you begin hearing, well, I do declare this is one kind of strange equation I done laid my eyes upon. Yes, indeed, old boy. I would say that this could very well revolutionize how we think about the universe itself. Very strange. He says, I've seen it before. I don't know about you guys, but I do these every day. I doodle them in my little book. I won't share them, though, because I don't want to blow your mind.
Well, if the three of you are done bickering, you might want to take a look at this little box here.
They were talking about the equation, so I would assume you've already seen the box.
Well, they already had the equation because
never.
They sent it ahead of time, right?
Never mind, I'm brain dead. So they're like, oh, this is really cool. They're like, oh, look at that very strange thing. Oh.
So this might clear up any confusions about the equation that was recorded previously, in case there were mistakes.
Yeah, so they begin moving over it and turning it through, and they begin like investigating. Mercule picks up the orb very gently with a couple of like tongs, and he like lifts it up into the ice. Says, don't mind me, I'm just going to check this out for a second. And he puts it in like and just kind of like hovers over this small little like observation device, and like it just like he says, yes, I see. Very well. And he begins like manipulating it slowly, like, touching with a few things, and you see it begins to like a section just kind of stretches out from it for a moment, like a spike, and just like goes back in and recedes. He says, interesting. And you see like with one hand he seems to be, or like claw-like hand, he just kind of like seems to like manipulate small sigils into the air and begins to slowly shape it. He says, I see. No wonder it was such a complicated formula. Basically, this is the essence of creation itself. Rewriting the laws of this particular matter that seems to be in a state of flux. When you think about the different orientations that this one singular non-act sphere can create, you look and you see, and he begins like drawing like these different runes in the air. He says, but now that's interesting, but what if we did this? And you see Theodore St. Chortle come in, and he begins he takes out what appears to be like a small little tool device, and he begins like writing in the air with it in a completely different script. And you watch as the whole thing turns into a turtle shell. He says, now this would be nice. It is incredibly defensible. He says, oh, no, we can't be giving that to him. No, we haven't decided anything for him to be shell-like in any particular way. He says, I have an idea. Look at this. Look what fun we can do. And he just like walks over there, and he begins like gesturing into the air, and you watch as the sphere reshapes again from a turtle shell, and it just turns into a fucking horse. He says, it looks just like my little Sebastian.
Make it a dick.
Ooh, next try. He says, no, don't be behaving like this inside my laboratory. You can go somewhere else. You can go to your own. Well, he doesn't have his own. He's been using half of mine, and it is a darn shame that he has, too. I've been losing much. Whew, what little hairs I had on top of my tippy-top head. He says, you had no hairs to begin with. So,
as the conversation continues, though, Cassetti's, she's that kid in class that's like, I don't care about what's going on here, or I don't understand what's going on here, or I can't contribute to what's going on here, so I'm gonna make trouble. So as the conversation continues, I want to minor illusion some hairs growing out of Chortle's head and see how long it takes.
Yeah,
And
just
for
like
me
just
to
hair just like
notice.
sprouting up and just going straight up.
Yeah, see how big it gets.
It's like, well, see, now the important thing to note is that once we do finalize this and take it out of its state of flux, I don't think it'll change again. You're quite right about that. He looks up, he's like, he says, well, I didn't say anything that funny. He says, oh, Seti, you are quite the troublemaker, says Cleary, like sitting next to you. He just goes giggles slightly. Sorry. So they're just sitting there, and he's like, well then, so the important thing to note is that once we put this together, it's going to be that way forever. Whereas you might die within, you have a body that will never decay.
The outside, anyway.
Well, yes, there are some organic materials inside that might fail you, but this exterior will remain the same for the rest of eternity, nor shall it age or any other such thing.
But that bit of his nectar should keep restoring the organic components anyway.
Oh, indeed. In fact, we might very well be creating what is effectively an immortal. Oh, lucky for you, Orin.
He's a monk anyway, he would have stopped aging.
Just, well, very well then. As is such, would you like to look more or less the same as you do now, visually speaking? We could keep it looking to your form and features. It would take some time to take measurements. And he takes out some of those like little, what are those things that they use? The little
Calipers.
Calipers, that's the word. He takes some calipers and starts putting it on your head and like tightening it. It's like, If you like, we could keep you the same, or we could make you taller. Well, no, your body's already mostly been designed. But we could change some of the facial structures a little bit, pad it here or there. This is like that one opportunity if you want your nose to be slightly bigger or smaller.
Do you want any features that look like, you know, your source?
I mean,
Not exactly like it,
I
because I
don't
know
want
you're
the
used to this
horns,
form.
that's for sure.
Oh, well, okay, that was an important note because I was measuring your horns right at this moment. You don't need to have them, necessarily.
No horns.
But given what we know about what you used to be, do you want to look a little bit like that? It might help, maybe with the
No.
bomb.
I like the way I look now, without the horns.
Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. Well, in that case, if you'll be here for the rest of the procedure, we may proceed. So he sits down and see all of them begin like working nonstop. Like it's hectic in there. But it's just the three of them. Nobody else is in there for the use of the equation. During this time, Beelan, I need you to go ahead if you would like to assist them.
You should probably strip down.
To make me the roll for intelligence plus proficiency to see what you can make here.
Right.
Go ahead and roll with advantage.
Already naked.
And then add +5 because of their help.
Add +5 on top of proficiency?
Yep.
Okay. So that would be 33.
33. It takes the day to finish. But what they have done is they begin like shaping. You can see it's almost like the sphere, like it's like they're sculpting different sections, and then like it'll reform the like. So they're only working on what is the size of the sphere at a time, sort of like sculpting the contour, making the rules for it, writing the different bits. You see that there are sections, and you barely understand what's happening at times, where all three of them together are working out like how do we keep this one section of your body moving? What are the rules, the laws of your own physics for the human body, or what is close enough to human? they discuss like the very mechanics of what makes a humanoid move and flow, which of course Egelman is quite familiar with, as he has made several different automaton sort of things in his past. And as they begin coming to a close, the last moment, they're like, "Oh, you wings, yes?
That would be
Now would
great.
be an opportunity if you wanted to have them on there permanently, or if you wanted to have them in a state of flux remaining to allow for your inner essence to create them. Since your body is completely different, we would be leaving behind a large portion of your celestial energy, so I'm not entirely certain they would continue to form on their own. Maybe a lingering bit might still allow for some sort of celestial light to form and give you lift into the air, but I'm not certain. Now is the time to decide whether or not you wish to have them or not.
You know what? Since this is going to be a unique being, let's add them.
Right then. He says, but I already finished the skeleton. He says, oh, don't worry, you old complainer, you. You do not need those for this. And he says, oh, very well. And they begin working on it, giving you wings. It's toilsome, but as they get them into position, they're like, oh, yes, well, they do want to lean towards a mechanical style. He says, no, he'll complain about it if we make them too rigid. And they just like continue working on it and begin attaching them like a little bit of a small framework onto your back where some of it could connect to the muscle on its own, so you have more control and free movement of it. This will take a few more days added on when they take this moment to do this, but the role will remain the same. During this time, Mitnir, is there any breath you would like to be doing to any part of this?
Are they applying it to like the actual skeleton thing? Or are they just like forming it and then it will be put on?
So it appears that they are creating a muscle structure in the back that will control it. But they should be able to. You want them permanently on?
Yeah.
Is that kind of what you were going on? Yeah?
That'd be fine.
Okay, yeah. So they are building a structure onto the back that is like a wing-based structure. It's not much of it. The rest of it will just be formed by the wings themselves, like the skin itself.
Well, I'll wander by like one time when they're all looking at like plans or something, just be like,
all right, go ahead and make me roll.
93.
93.
And then just like sneaks away. Just
So as you breathe into, you watch like the wings begin to like as you walk away, the wings begin to grow feathers.
Nice.
Unless you would like to make them dragon wings.
No, feathers are fine. In his head, it'll be similar to whatever his feathers looked like before.
Yeah, so when they do that, and feathers start growing, and people walk in,
feathers.
and they're like, "Oh, well, that's interesting. Oh, well, this is something." So they begin like talking to themselves for a moment, and then they're like, "Actually, with that, Orin shaves a day off. I believe we're ready. If you want to do this,
As ready as I'll ever be, I guess.
With that, if you guys would like, you can take 2 more days of whatever it is you would like to be doing. You can spend it training. You can spend it doing something else, but you get 2 more days.
I assume I was just assisting with all this stuff. So.
Yeah, you're assisting.
Training. But also, I want to ask Seti. Grim will ask Seti, hey, Seti, when you do your dream thing, do you want to help Grim go talk to a god?
Okay. Sure.
It might be scary, but I don't think she'd kill you if you're with Grim.
Is it Inoki?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just want to go ask her a question. She won't bite.
We could try. There's no guarantee we would get there, but we can try. I was going to spend tonight working on the Orins in the Realm since we need it pretty urgently, it sounds like, but
We don't have to do it tonight. I can wait and see if she talks to Grim. But
okay, yeah, if we could maybe wait until the Inner Realm's finished, or at least yeah, I would
I
hate
want
for
to
the-
talk to her soon though, because I want to. There's something I want to ask her. But I can try contacting her. I can try to see if I can contact her just through my own inner realm.
How
I'm
many
just not very reliable.
how many days do we have until the skin's ready at this point?
They're
Few
about
more.
to administer the skin.
Yeah.
So, and this is what, 3 days into the week. So,
Yeah, I need to focus on the Inner Realm so that I'm ready to go when
Well, then we have to figure out the thing to create the thing to hold the thing the soul as we transfer it and everything too, right?
sorry, I forgot to mention this. The soul gem will not need to be used at all, as there are crystals built into the brain itself that will function exactly the way that they need to for that.
Oh, so do we not
Oh.
even need the flower that I have? Wasn't that what that was for? Was like to create a soul gem?
I don't remember what the flower was for, because
Like-
it's been a month since we've.
So like
Archibald said
I
we
have
needed it
No, it's for the
Yeah,
ritual.
for the process.
That's for the ritual itself, for duplicating the soul.
Yeah.
Okay, so that I still need my lightning struck metal, griffin feather, and black orchid.
Yeah, that's for the actual ritual of soul.
That's to make like the powder thing that we need for the ritual. Okay, so we still
Yeah,
need
that's to actually like do the thing, but you don't need an intermediary because the crystals that are used within the brain itself are function the same way as like a soul trap gem would.
Okay. Cool. So he's got like built-in like jewels in his head.
Pretty much, yeah.
Nice. Cool. Well then, yeah, I'm gonna train, and then at
Orin is now
nighttime,
the most
Grim is gonna
expensive
try-
creature in existence.
Grim's gonna try when he goes to bed. He's gonna try and contact Inoki through his inner realm.
Sure, make me a wisdom check.
An 8. He's gonna do it every night
Unfortunately-
until he gets it.
Yeah, unfortunately, you aren't able to access that just yet.
Yeah, I rolled the 2.
So, Oren, they bring you in, and it's just you guys that are in there. But they say, whenever you're ready, we are ready to administer the. Well, I'm not sure exactly what they call. We can't quite call this skin. This is the pure essence of order. It's matter of nirvana. So I'm not sure exactly what we call this skin, but it's ready to be administered.
All right, let's do this.
Very well. Let's begin. And so what they do is they pull your body out of the tank, like all the different tubes and everything else, and it's just strewn out on like a sort of like hovered out and like held by a couple of different propping machines, like little metal, not quite hooks, but like little cuffed like devices. It's hard to exactly describe it because my brain doesn't work so good right now. But they sort of like hang your body out and it's dripping with Vedava's nectar all over the place. And they say, well, let's begin. Oh, yeah. So technically they would do that, and then they would begin moving you over to the other section where you guys initially fought that golem
Mhm.
to pump you full after the skin is done. So they've pulled it down and they've just got it hanging, and they're like, first we shall administer the skin. So they take it and then they begin drawing sigils into the air. And as they do, initially it's just like this blue light that Mercule is using. And you see different sections are being drawn by all three of them. You even know the part that you're supposed to do. And as you guys get all these going, there's like completely surrounding the body, there are, you would say, probably about like 150 different sigils that are being formed. It's just an incredibly long process. It takes about 3 hours just to get everything in place. And they say, "Is that all of them? We haven't gotten anything, correct?" He says, No, of course not. We've got his penis right where it's supposed to go." Says, "Well, very well then. Let's begin." And so the matter lifts up into the air, and as it begins pulling itself towards your body, it becomes like this strange sort of living liquid that pours over you and begins wrapping around the flesh, the bone, the wings themselves for a moment, and then it just settles in and like fills in the different spots where it needs to. It begins shaping over, and at first it becomes liquid, but then it almost instantly hardens into this sort of opaque, nearly sparkling golden skin. It's not like shiny gold. It's more of like a dull gold that's been like out in this, like entreated by the sun itself. Not in a way that tarnishes it, but just like a sort of like dull golden skin. And as it folds over your flesh, you see Oren's face solidify. You see like the muscles and tendons like pull together in a way where it sort of like feels like it's being like scraped or pouring over, like in the Matrix where he touches the mirror, just like pouring over and then filling all the gaps. And then it just begins to like solidify so quickly and so exactly to Oren's frame and muscle structure on the exterior. But then you see the rest of the muscles shifting into place underneath, like little small twitches are happening as what is underneath and what you guys created previously is finding its way with this outer shell that's been created. It takes probably about 10 minutes for this thing to finally reach the top of his head, where you see no hair, no horns, a very plain but orange face. And you see the eyelids form over the eyes, finally. And you guys see hovering right there in this space, well, not hovering, but being held up right in this space, is a golden, immaculate, perfectly symmetrical version of Oren. It said, "Quickly, to the injector." So they grab the body, and it's like immediately being like moved across. And you guys just see this golden naked Oren with wings like on its back being moved over to Vedeva's injector. They hook you up to like in several different places, and Vedeva's nectar just begins flowing into the body. This process will have to cycle like a form of dialysis. Over time, it will cycle out anything that might have been contaminated during our other procedures, and you will be left with a perfectly intact Vedeva's nectar-filled body. So, with that being said, I believe the rituals will now be turning over to me. You have the ingredients, I presume.
We do. Once
Yes.
everyone
Ingredients.
gathers up.
Good. Well, get me those, and I will get everything prepared on my end.
We
And
do
from
need this
there,
room.
I do believe there were other places where we wanted to do this, correct?
Wherever we need to do it, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to do someplace safer than here.
I mean,
Yes,
Can
but
we
did we
move
want
the
to
body?
wait?
we can't really move the body, right? We have to be near the body for the ritual.
This will require one day till the body has completely sealed itself. Effectively, it will start functioning on its own. We can basically turn it on, in a sense. It will be working on the basic functions that I previously programmed into the brain. Which is to say, heart go beaty, lungs go breathy, thing keep itself in homeostasis.
But we still need time to make our other preparations, though.
Very well, we can keep it hooked up until the rest of your stuff is prepared.
Because Seti, you still have to do all of your preparations. We have to have a place.
I will go take these materials and turn them into what I need. I will also be requiring the soul trinket at the last stage.
Right? Because we have to have his
Right.
inner realm ready, right?
Right. Well, you let me know when you're ready to do this and where we will be traveling to, if there's such a thing. I don't think we should do it in the middle of this place. There's too many foot traffics, too many individuals that, frankly, I don't particularly want to share my, very forbidden magics with.
I think the closest safe place, or safest close place, would be in the ritual chamber of the mansion underneath the library. It was built for experimentation.
Yes, but when are we going to do it in the other place that you guys wanted?
If we want to do it in the apperception chamber or something, then we have to.
But we needed time anyway to do all the other things that we need to do before we can even begin the process.
We would be leaving the cauldron to do it there.
I think
could
the
also-
main
Yes.
worry was what would come out when I was removed.
Right.
Yes, that's probably the biggest thing. The last thing we want to happen is to release an incarnation of Northot within the cauldron. That could be
Yes.
devastating.
Or even within
And lose
your
another
mansion.
cauldron to.
We don't want to give them access to your mansion.
We don't particularly want to give them access to a demi-plane that you've created. It could easily become infected.
All right. Fair enough.
Yes.
All right. So we have to get
So
to.
let's get everything ready beforehand. Take as much time as we need, and then we go
Yeah.
to the apperception chamber.
Well,
Yeah,
before
then
we do
we-
any of that, whereas I'm perfectly fine. I'm not going to be traveling with you. My old bones don't move so good. But how about a spot of lunch before we move forward, yeah?
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Very well.
Great.
Well, I'll be back in 5 minutes, y'all. Thanks for hanging out. I'm Theodore St. Chortle, and we'll be back in 5 minutes. And we are back. So, with that, and all the things that are happening, what would you guys like to do now? You guys said you have more procedures to finish and do, and so what would everyone like to be doing? Well, to get
So is this
finalized.
Is this day done after they've done that, or are we still working on that day?
I mean, you weren't really doing anything that day. Specific. That was like 3 days in initially, and so then it's going to take a day. So you have 1 day that's going to take a minimum for basically dialysis to happen with the Vetiva's nectar.
Okay.
And then after that, body's just waiting for you guys.
Okay. So I'm
Do we
gonna just
need-
keep training for as long as I can.
All right, so
we
do
need
one more day of
to-
training.
Do we need to strategize? Talk about what we'll do? I mean, we want to try to get an apperception chamber for this, yeah? Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, that'll mean going back out into the world and entering normal time. So maybe
Yeah.
we should do that at the last possible moment of being in here.
Grim would definitely like to finish his level so he can take his next fracture just to be safe.
Unless there's someone that can help us with the time difference in the apperception chamber or something.
Yeah, we're going to have to ask Primus for access to an apperception chamber anyway, so maybe there's some finagling he could do. Should we ask him as well about what you were before, Orin, about the language and the Blade Lady? He might be the only one who knows.
I mean,
If he knows.
It's not really relevant to what we need to do right now. We can ask him that later.
All right. Should we talk about what we're going to do about Enveruna before we do all this? Because if
I think
we
we
have
do
to...
that after we do this, right? I think getting this done is probably first priority, and then
I think
getting
so,
him
too.
his tattoo. Right? Because wasn't that the reason we were trying to get this done?
Right.
So that nobody could read his mind, right?
Yes, that is a good point. It feels
'Cause,
strange
like,
not to have discussed it yet, but because it's been so long now. But it's also not been very long at all up there, so...
Right,
brain's
because
in
the
a
part of
weird
the reason we
space.
were doing this was because we couldn't
Yeah,
get his mind shielded until he had a
Yes.
new body.
Yes, good point. All right, I'll hold.
I
my
know it's
thoughts.
been like 2 months, but that's part of the reason why we haven't been able to do this. So,
Right. It's yeah. Okay.
I missed that. What?
but we'll say part of the reason we were giving him a new body was because we need to be able to shield his mind with the dragon scale.
Oh
Tattoo.
yeah, because you couldn't put that
So
on his other one.
once we do that, once we've got him in a new body, we can apply that tattoo to his new body.
Lost through.
Of course, we could have just found a way to mind shield his new body. but then he wouldn't get a cool tattoo. I think we
Okay.
should make his new tattoo goat horns. Just
Not
for
happening.
fun.
No. I already know what the tattoo is going to be.
All right. So
Oh.
with
Make it a
that,
tramp stamp so
guys,
he can't like.
what do you guys want to do? You can head out at any point. It's what technically the third day, early in the morning, right now in the real world. Well, in Selindor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'll have to contact Primus then.
All right.
I'll call the old receptionist guy.
All right. So you send a message to you use your seal to communicate with Primus, and he's like, "Well, howdy doody. What can I do for you?"
So we're about almost ready to transfer me to the new body, but we aren't sure what's going to emerge from this current one when we do that. So we would like to use an apperception chamber.
All right. And then the voice freezes, and you hear, "Very well. This is acceptable."
Is there any way for us to use that chamber on the Cauldron's time frame and not Selindor time frame?
Unfortunately, I can neither bend space or time at the same time. And bending space will be necessary to keep the creature sealed within the apperception chamber. Its walls are not enough by themselves. But within that, I can keep the space bent so he cannot escape.
Okay.
Not nothing.
Should I contact someone else for the time portion, perhaps? Or is that just not
There are
possible?
no other deities that might mess in my domain.
Well, that is unfortunate.
It is as if you are asking me to allow a wrench in the cog that is my machine. You ask too much.
Well,
It's fine. We'll just be quick. We'll be quick when we go to it. It's fine.
yeah, we'll work with what we got.
This is why we have everything ready ahead of time, so that we can be very efficient.
Very well.
So I can just we can just show up to your little receptionist avatar, and he'll bring us to the room when we get there.
You will take a more direct path. I will have envoys waiting for you when you leave.
Okay.
You will be flown directly to the tower. It will save time.
Okay, thank you.
So with that,
So I don't know how to hang out with Primus.
it's gone.
Right?
It's just gone on its own.
That awkward silence at the end of a call.
So, you just be like, okay, bye. No, what would you guys like to do?
Go and
You got
train.
loose ends if you want to tie up? Go for it. You spend the other day training. Do you guys want to finish out the week?
Grim's just gonna power level to 16 and keep trying to call what's her face. So
I don't know
So-
how much time I'm gonna lose when we do this, so
If we finish out the week, Grim would level up.
I will also have to do a roll.
You will also have to do a roll. Are you willing to
What do
risk
we think?
one more roll? The chances are very slim.
But can we
Famous
use
last
our
words.
flower?
We could wish it to unhappen. That said, there are things wish can't do, like mess with deities and like
You could literally use a flower to get Grim the level.
if we
Completely eliminate the risk.
Maybe save that to get Orin a level, because we're gonna lose time, and I'm not gonna get to train.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm already a level behind everyone, and
Yeah.
like 2 levels behind some of you.
Yeah.
Well, just if we're gonna fight, potentially
Because
fight an
he gets a
avatar
fracture
Northot.
when he levels, so that's pretty.
I get a
that could be
fracture,
pretty
which is going to
big.
complete, my
gonna
set
fight
of
Northot.
fractures from Inoki,
Mhm.
which is kind of a big deal.
I also get a fracture.
So I want to
but
make
don't
sure that
one
I
yet.
have that. I want to make sure that I have those fractures ready to go, so that I can make sure that.
I mean, what the finishing out the week is only like one more day at this point.
It's three
Well,
three more days,
3 more days, yeah.
Okay.
which again would only make it slightly later in the morning.
Yeah. I think it's
Like
worth
it's
the
like
risk.
it's currently like the sun isn't even up yet in the real world. Like
I think it's worth the
I
risk.
mean,
That's
we're
my
gonna
vote.
walk outside and have to, we'll have to enter the real world and basically.
yeah, it'll be 6 in the morning if you guys finish out the week.
And that's on day 3.
Out of 4. Yeah.
So basically, if we were to walk into the other thing anyway, you're gonna have to roll anyway. So it's either you're gonna roll here or roll there, because time's still gonna pass.
Correct.
It's just that either it's gonna pass slowly in here or slowly out, quicker out there. Like the same amount of time is gonna pass.
Well, I think out there it's roll it once per day, right? Basically.
Yeah,
Or-
but
It is
it's
once per
still
day
gonna
out there, but-
pass. It's still gonna pass.
You're
It'll
gonna
just
still have to
pass.
roll for the
It'll
previous
just pass
day.
a lot more quickly. It's gonna be either when we walk out immediately, or it'll be at the end of this week. So it's 6 and 1/2 dozen.
Yeah, I think it's worth it to just finish out the week.
So you
Like
guys
there's
have 3 more
literally
days.
it's a non-question because it's going to happen anyway.
It's up to you guys how
It'll
you
just
would
be
like
either
to
before
spend.
the fight or after the fight.
Yeah, whatever you guys want to do. If I got to roll regardless, then do what you want to do.
You guys have 3 days. What would you like to do?
I'm good.
Uh,
I mean,
still
you're
training.
leveling up, so.
Yeah.
Orin, did you want to spend that time working on your rings, or did you want to?
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll try to get that done.
Make peace with this may be your death. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm already at peace. I'm a monk.
I think Seti's gonna make peace with like we could die fighting this Northot thing. Bad shit could happen. When we do have to deal with Enveruna, bad shit could happen. So I want to spend my 3 days like having fun, trying to relax, spending quality time with everybody, trying to make the Hollyphant and my kitten become friends.
they both like catnip. It's great.
So
I'll
you
make
just
a
spend the
couple more.
time doing some TLC.
Teaching Clary to swim.
That's gonna take longer than 3 days.
I can help. Shoves them in.
Does it?
Yeah, Clary goes
He
into
has
the
a-
water.
He's afraid of the water.
Here goes in the water when you push him in, and bubbles just come up until they stop.
Well, the very last day I will roll a 19 on my wisdom check. So I still don't think that's high enough.
Yeah, the DC is 20 to actually go there. But
Oh, well, if I'm done with the inner realm stuff, I can help him. Oh, I do have. Okay, we have multiple days though. So one of the nights I will help him try to go see Inoki. Can I just what do?
Yeah, so you are you attempting to take him there via the dreams, like his dream, or are you gonna? How do you want to do it? Like
try to through like the inner realms and stuff. Yeah.
I will remind you, you've been warned not to enter into a god's realm via that because it can be very dangerous.
I thought it was if I was like unwelcome there, but if I happened to be welcome, then it would be fine. That was my interpretation.
Yeah, that was your interpretation.
Are you welcome in Inoki's realm?
I'm probably
Grim
not,
is.
but Grim might be, and it might balance out.
I feel like Grim is though.
Can I try to just help him, like give him a nudge?
Sure, you can give him
without
advantage.
going myself.
You can give him advantage.
Okay, let's try that.
Did you like bring him there and push him through the door?
Yeah.
You can try to help guide him, but going there yourself, like, there's a risk.
I'll try to help guide him. We've got like 3 days. I do want to say
so make your roll with advantage.
Make my roll with advantage. Okay, here we go. Well, that's a 24.
Day. With a 24, that night when Seti tries to help you, you feel as if whatever veil was blocking you is lifted. And as you focus and try to reach something beyond your inner realm, or rather, you're within your inner realm and you feel it widen. Rather than what you see around you, which is just a whole bunch of swamp and mushrooms, it expands. And you see significantly more. And in the distance, you see what appears to be, and this, but maybe like a few miles away, what appears to be a massive colony of overlapping huge spores. And they shape into what appears to be some sort of structure.
Well, I'm going to go there.
You begin walking through the path, and as you do, you feel the mushrooms around you breathing you in. Some of them seem to like fold away as you pass. Some seem to lean closer. You even see like small amounts as you step forward, just the dirt from your feet. Even though this is a spiritual place, just the very dirt from your feet, the essence of you seems to make small spores sprout up behind your footsteps in the mud.
I'm going to kind of just like reach out and touch the ones I can as I them.
As you touch them, you see as they begin to like sort of shimmer with a little bit of that bioluminescence as you touch them. And then you even hear like, as if you can communicate them, like a sense of calm from them. Like a sense of like they're reaching for you. And as you touch them, just a sense of like calm goes inside.
Yeah.
After about traveling maybe halfway to it, suddenly you see some of the mushrooms begin to move, like sort of like as if something's like pulling from them, and you see the face of Zogtamoy as it breaches out from one of the larger sort of tree-like stalks, and you hear, "Welcome, child."
Oh, there you are. There you are, baby. I had a question for you.
Of course.
So
in what way may I help you?
Very soon, Grim will be. I will be taking in your last mushroom.
Ah, finally. You'll be taking in the last of my gifts.
Yes, and I know, at least Grim has heard that you are wanting Grim to be your champion, and the other Abyss Lords are not agreeing.
You are my champion, child. Whether you're the champion of the Abyss, that is an entirely different question.
Yes, so this is what Grim is wanting to ask about, is maybe maybe it's time we do something to make this happen.
I see.
Grim
And
was told maybe that I need to do things that were more abyssal.
well, there's a question of your ability to represent the interests of the entire abyss, which, as we know, is many interests.
That's true. They're kind of crazy out there, aren't they? So I was just wondering, is there? I mean, I don't know. There, what? Maybe there's something I should do to make them think, okay, maybe this is the guy. So maybe once I have,
Hmm.
I'll be stronger in a little bit. I'll be able to take in the last mushroom, and then maybe I don't know. Maybe because I have this friend that she takes us places in the dream, and then maybe I don't know. We go and we go to one of your, not friends, because I know you guys aren't friends, but we go
There
in there and
are
we
a
rough up one of their
selection
buddies.
of a few key abyssal lords that you could very easily persuade with enough, I would say, confidence and show of prowess. But that will require you venturing into their domain and seeking an audience with them directly. If you had the balls to do such a thing, I think it would go over well. Of course, you may die, but worry not. As my champion, I will grow anew you, though one a little bit more serving of me.
Oh no, I wouldn't. I have ways of not dying. It's fine.
Oh, yes, that's right, your project.
I would
You've
just
completed
come.
it.
Yes, I would just come back. Um,
Very well,
but
then.
yeah.
The few that I would be most interested in you seeking audience with, there's one you shouldn't bother with. You'll never convince that stupid slime of anything. But seek an audience with the Demogorgon. Seek an audience with the Prince of the Abyss. And seek an audience with Orcus.
Okay. Would you be able to help us to visit them, or should I just go find the portal?
If you go to the council chambers, all of the important interested parties are always privy to what goes on in there, assuming it is an open forum. It will be an opportunity for you to speak with them, and should they be listening, which I know they will invite you to their realm.
Great. So maybe after Grim is done making this guy a new body, and after we're done dealing with that thing I can tell you about, then I'll maybe go talk to a guy with multiple heads, or a big scary guy with the stick, or the other guy. So, yeah.
I wish you well, champion of mine. And let me know how you like my last gift. Of
Oh,
course, should you decide to discard that mm, anomaly, I'd be more
I
than
might.
happy to complete the set.
No, I very well might. It just depends on what. Well, I can't talk about that.
Very
Let's-
well.
Next week. Real week, not Cauldron week. But yeah.
Understood. Worry not, I have the patience of the divine.
Yes, I'm sure you've been around for quite a long time, but you look great for your age.
Flattery will not work on me, child, but it is appreciated, the notion itself.
No, I just figured it would be funny. I know you don't have to make silly jokes.
Yes. Well then, goodbye, Grim of mine.
Goodbye, Mushroom Lady.
She sort of cackles and you find the world closing back around you and standing in within your own inner realm. And Seti's like still there, like, all right, so you're gonna go, and it's like she's still like prepping you as you come back.
And he'd be like, oh, all good. I'm done. Done. Thank you, Seti.
You're muted.
Oh shit, okay, that was so fast I didn't see it happen.
Oh, no,
Good,
it's fine.
cool.
Yeah, I went to talk to her. We might go meet some Abyss Lords later if you guys are down.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. You don't have to come. Grim could go on his own. Might be dangerous, but, just trying to...
Yeah, we'll,
because
we'll see, yeah.
it's part of Grim becoming champion. I'm already her champion, but
Of the
Abyss
whole abyss, you
champion.
need to... Yes, okay, that is important. Yeah, we do need to become champions
Yeah.
of places to get in.
But I needed to talk to her since I'm about to take in, her
Yeah.
last mushroom. So, see.
Yeah, do you need
Well,
help
thank
with
you.
that? Are you good?
I mean,
'Cause I think
I'll
we
be
could
able to
do-
take it.
All right, yeah.
Take help with what? The mushroom?
I can help intake fractures now.
Oh, well, the
I mean,
second I have to
obviously
probably
we have Cleary here too.
awaken it, don't I? I don't even know. Have I awakened any of them?
I assumed so, but
I mean, they're awakened. If they're in you, they're awakened.
Okay. I've taken them, yeah. Haven't done like any special process other than just eating them. Okay, great.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to like real sleep now, I guess.
Okay, good night.
Okay, good night.
Before we move on, one of the other nights, I do need to go see Suba. Since I didn't get to.
Okay. So you're just gonna go see how her dreams are again?
Yeah, I'm gonna drop in on her and hopefully like not interrupt anything awkward. But just want to catch up with like updates about Bropsy, and we had been going to talk about Bropsy potentially giving up her divinity to help Orin and like get Subak's thoughts on that. And that's kind of become a moot point at this point. So it's more of just a general.
Has it?
Well, for the moment.
Bropsy's literally still like, Orin, please, Orin, please let me do some, Orin, please.
I think it would be part of the conversation, but not like the main point. It would be like, here's
That's
this
fair.
thing your mom was thinking about doing. It doesn't seem to be necessary right now. We've come up with a workaround. So hopefully that doesn't come into play. But
before you do this, I don't know if you've shared any of this, like what you're gonna talk about. Like you're like, oh, I gotta go do this with Cleary at all. But
sure, I share everything with Cleary.
Yeah, Cleary would be like, to be honest with you, I'm not sure it's a good idea to worry her in a situation like this.
Yeah.
If there's nothing that she can do about it, wherever she is, letting her know that her mom's going to be risking her life and her divinity and any chance of ever seeing her again without any just cause. Well, obviously there's just cause, but I think it'll worry her without her being able to do anything. She might feel powerless and do something reckless.
I mean, yeah, I felt like, well, when I talked with Bropsy about it, it felt like maybe they should know. Although I did wonder if maybe
No, I
if Diane can
understand.
see Bropsy and can watch over her, then maybe they already know what she wants to do and is considering. I mean, I could just drop in and have fun story time and tell her about all the crazy shit
absolutely,
her mom's done. And
there is a reason why all these deities and creatures don't tell you everything all the time, why they speak in riddles, why they keep everything away, and mostly it's because they don't know how you'll act. It's for a very good reason.
Yeah.
A young creature such as her, and that's again how gods look at all of us, as just young, flittering, impulsive creatures. I would be worried that she might do something
No, that's fair. That's a good point. Because I probably would if it was me. So.
Yes, I'm well aware.
All right. Duly noted. It'll just be a little catch up, and I'll tell her the story of when Bropsy single-handedly slayed that ice dragon and saved all our lives.
That was quite a good time. I don't remember it being single-handedly, but
Don't have to lie.
I think Bropsy actually died 3 times in that fight, but we'll make it so that Mitnir died 3 times, and it was Bropsy that punched the dragon in the face real hard.
well, I'll leave the embellishments to you, dear. I have swim lessons with Mitnir. They're horrible, but
You're doing great. I'm so proud of you.
I will keep it up.
And when you can swim, we'll go skinny dipping together.
Well, I guess if you're going to put it that way, I better learn quickly. Mitnir! I'm here to get wet!
Checks him into the pool again.
Just you guys hear from down at the bottom of the mansion.
Maybe I should have had Bropsy teach him how to swim.
All right, so as you dip into the waters and find yourself throwing through space, this is where you see Suba this time. Captain issuing orders as she engages with what appear to be flying sharks. They fly through space. They have wings spread out in weird ways instead of fins, but they are sharks in the body and the massive sharp teeth, multiple eyes. And she says, "Hold fast, everyone. We've got to take out these sky lancers."
Reporting for duty, Captain.
She looks over and she goes, "Oh, it's a dream, isn't it? Oh, damn." And then
it's
she
a
just kind
very
of looks
cool
around.
dream, sir.
She says, "Yes, it is. It very much is. Do you want to join me? Or are we going to go have a talk?"
Well, I can join you. I'm here for fun. I can also tell you
The dream is like paused around her, like they're kind of circling around, like doing weird movements, like. Oh.
I can also tell you the story of the time your mom punched her dragon to death.
Oh, okay. Can you get rid of the sky lancers and then we can do that? Because that sounds fun.
The sky lancers swirl together to become the dragon, and we're gonna reenact the battle with Subag as the inflated story of Bropsy, the hero.
Okay.
And then I'll manifest versions of the rest of the party that are like constantly getting in trouble and dying, and Bropsy's just saving everybody and doing all the cool shit that everybody else did. And yeah, we'll just reenact that battle.
Make an insight check for me.
Uh-oh. That doesn't sound great. 10.
10. She has a great time. It's incredible. Like she loves it. She's giggling. She's cheering. She's saying, "Oh, I'm so strong. I'm my mummy, and we are very strong together. I can feel her inside me, and I've become powerful, and I can control the wind. Whoosh!"
Absolutely. It's epic and legendary and super cool.
Yeah. So you guys have a good time. You failed the insight check, so you don't know.
Fair enough.
But Meta, she could tell you're stretching the truth and that you're making it bigger than it needs to be, but she's still having fun.
That's the point.
And as the night winds by and the dream's like about to like fade and you're about to leave, she's just like, "Thank you for coming and checking up on me. Is everything going okay with all of you?"
Everything's going just fine. We're just crushing it out there.
Good. Keep crushing it. And I will keep crushing it as well.
And are you all right? Everything's okay?
Yes.
Anything
yes.
you'd like me to relay to Bropsy for you?
Just tell her I love her.
I will. She's also very good at giving advice if you ever need any.
I don't know if I'm ready to meet her just yet. Not really.
right.
I'm not strong enough to be in front of Mom yet.
Okay.
Maybe if I become first mate.
I'm sure you will.
You tell her that Mama's proud of her no matter what she is. You tell her.
There's a little birdie in my ear telling me that your mom is proud of you no matter what.
No way.
Have a good night. Sweet dreams. Whoosh.
All right, so as you wish back to reality, or close enough to it, you guys don't even know what that is anymore.
Push back to reality. There goes back.
Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes Mavity. Sorry. So, another day passes. Is there anything else you guys want to do, or we just end the week and say that you've reached what you need to?
Oh, should I do some
Should I need
crafting
to-
rolls?
Yeah, go ahead and do me those. Do those. Do me those? Do those.
Do those? Yeah. I do one each day. So
Yep.
3 of them, I guess.
Correct mundo.
Well, the first one is an 18.
Okay. Throw yourself another 20%. I'm not sure how far along you are now.
Then a 12.
12. You're a little bit set back and distracted. The thoughts of the impending potential doom ahead of you sort of keep you a bit slow. And you kind of just do the same thing over and over again for a bit. And then you like shake it off to get back to work. You still get 10%.
And then a 16.
16? You get 20% for that too. I don't know what that puts you at.
70. They're not done. That's fine.
Yeah, you're making some good progress. You've got like the rings cut and set. You haven't finished the enchantments. So with that, in near anything other than forcibly having to teach Clary how to swim that you would like to do during this time?
I think like the day before we leave, like he'd go back to the town and be like, you know, we're leaving, but don't forget to ask about New Death. We're trying to do things to help. Don't let our absence let us be forgotten, you know.
Yeah, just like keep you in their minds. Like there's like an individual there who's like doing your autobiography, like your biography, like of the group, like just like a history of New Death. It's like it's a very short history if you look at it chronologically speaking, but the amount that you've accomplished in such a short amount of time makes you meteoric in the way that you
And
rise.
those are only the things we can tell you about. That's not even the stuff we can't tell you about.
Well, I will eventually get the exclusive scoop on the classified information when it has been declassified.
He's gonna dangle like the bracelet at him.
I see indeed. There will come a time, and I will be your man to write down your histories, and maybe make it into song, as the bards need.
You'll have to talk to Seti about that one.
Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, so you're able to spread the word a little bit more and to tell them that you guys are leaving. A bunch of the kids are really upset. A lot of other people are like, okay, have fun, farewell, bye. Didn't have to tell us about it, but thank you. But yeah, there are people that are like, oh, bye, and like cheering for you as you walk by. It's like, good luck. You know, like word's already spread before you even make it there. Yeah, Propsy, anything in particular you want to do these last 3 days?
Continue to potion and garden.
All right, so get your 3 days of training. Seti,
I
other
thought of
than those
something.
few things you've had to do.
So I thought of one thing. I just want to gauge the Hollyphant's happiness. Have a little talk about like
The Hollyphant has gained a little bit of weight. The Hollyphant has got they're I mean, like, let's be real, elephants always have kind of like a bit of a chub, a pudge. But they've gone past, like, the trunk of their leg has gone past the point of where it's just like kind of like a trunk, and it kind of gotten a little bulbous. Like there's a little, and the belly's getting a little round.
Is this depression eating or joyful eating?
Make me an insight check.
I basically will just ask, like, hey, bud, we know some people that could probably get you home. 17 for the insight.
Insight. They seem quite pleased with this place. They lounge around on the soft, feathery pillows. They seem a bit lonely because you guys are always busy. But other than that,
That's what Mir
yeah.
is for. Mir is here too.
Okay, if you've introduced them to Mir, then
I'm trying to make them become friends.
it goes well. Actually,
Perfect.
like they talk to each other. Like they'd be like,
Perfect.
you know, and it's just a
Exactly
lot of
what
that
I wanted.
happening.
Does the Hollywant like my cat because my cat is also light?
Is your cat? Yeah, is your cat there with you? I don't know if yours is there.
Yeah.
Or if it's
Our
where.
cats are always
Of course
hanging out.
Propsy brought her.
Oh,
Unless we're
okay,
sleeping
okay.
with
Well,
them.
then, yeah,
Like-
your little menagerie of creatures and critters are getting to know each other and becoming friends, and like do it just running around causing havoc, knocking over things, and the
Mhm.
like your invisible servants are working. Your unseen servants are working overtime, just like keeping
They're
everything
not
in shape.
sentient, so that's fine. They don't care.
They're a little sentient, just enough to make you sad about it.
Wow. That sucks.
They're like they're a function of your subconscious. So like you're like, oh man, they're working hard.
Not sentient enough to unionize, but
Yeah.
All right. So basically, I tell the Hollyphant that whenever it is ready to go home, just let us know. We'll hit up Bala and see if we can work something out. But it's welcome to stay as long as it wants to and to make himself at home.
All right. Cool. Well, it seems to get like respond to you with like a yeah, like kind of like an affirmative trumpet.
good.
Cool. So with that, Grim, you level up. But more importantly, you've noticed that you've gotten almost like an epiphany of sorts. All this work, all this toiling that you have done has made you understand things in a new way. You are now proficient in Arcana.
Oh.
You are now proficient in Insight.
Proficient. And insight.
And your time on the island has also made you proficient in Survival.
Oh, I wasn't proficient in survival.
And with these things, as you feel this sort of epiphany happen, you notice the ship fades from your arm.
Goodbye, ship.
Oh.
Yay, I have useful things. All the times I've used Arcana, that's certainly helpful.
Yeah, the Arcana Insight, because you've been dealing with people more than you ever have before.
And there's really no reason I shouldn't have already been proficient in survival.
Yeah, your time on the island has made it like I really only survived in one type of biome, and that's maybe why you weren't proficient, because you'd spent pretty much all of your life in one biome. Now you've been to the frost, you've been through forests, through caves and underwater, and you've been so many places, and you spend enough time in the wild without anybody else doing it for you. Now doing your training in the Quixotic Lock, that you've developed.
Yeah.
So.
Look,
also
guys,
with that,
my tattoos are gone. Not
Also
this
with
one.
that-
I still have this one.
you do have your fracture, your mushroom. I don't know if you just eat it instantly, just plop it in your mouth.
I've been ready, waiting for this. Nah.
So you eat it, and it's like,
Or however he
oh,
does it.
Chloe's like, well, no, that's fine and all, but we still need to awaken your fracture. So, do you want me to do it instead of you?
Clary, do it, because I have to pee.
Chloe's like, very well. And so he gets all the candles out and sits you down away across from him, and he says, all right, focus on this thing. You'll need to guide it. And he like begins doing, he says, to help it grow. So you find yourself once again in your inner realm. You see Cleary there standing with you. You see like the little gas tyrant spores and everything. Actually, you know what? Just because we can do this, might as well bring you to your inner realm, huh?
Do you have a picture of my inner realm? Oh, I didn't even know you had a picture of my inner realm. I wasn't even aware we had a picture of me.
I created everybody's inner realm.
I don't know. Have we ever been to? I don't know if I've ever been here.
Nope, you haven't been. You haven't been brought here specifically. But this is your inner realm, and I have everybody's made now. So as you come in, you can see the mini eyeballs growing within some of the spores, the gas tyrant influence. You see tiny pink tendrils growing out of several of them as well. But then you see floating above this very center in the space with the what is like effectively like a magic circle in old ruined stone. You see hovering in the very center of this is a sort of amorphous, undulating, breathing spore. Says,
little guy.
this is it, and basically what we need to do is effectively allow this into the realm itself to suffuse and find a home. So I don't know how to do that, probably, but you do. So guide it,
Okay.
grow it.
I'm just kind of like put his finger under it, be like, okay, little guy.
Just kind of like.
So like, you do your thing.
All right, so go ahead and make me a. I guess this would be. Go ahead and make me like an herbalism check.
Herbalism check.
Wisdom proficiency.
Oh, well, that's wisdom proficiency. That's a 17 because I rolled a 5.
When you're 17, like you seem to like be finding a space for it, but it, like it try to like help it into some dirt in some of the area, and it's like it doesn't seem to be enough. He says,
He's shy. He's a shy guy. It's because
I
I waited
think-
so long.
perhaps it's because you're trying in a physical sense. Maybe open yourself up more spiritually. Try to let it suffuse the whole realm itself. Let its breath become your breath.
I think he's mad that I saved them for last. I think is what it is.
Maybe change that depression into a positivity that you save the best for last.
Yeah, they think it's because you are so strong. I was just scared to use you because you're such a mighty spore.
Go ahead and roll
Okay, here we
animal
go.
handling instead on this.
Which I'm also not great at. But here we go. It's a 20.
With a 20, you feel this thing sort of like pulse and breathe in the air, and as it begins to, you see a lot of the mushrooms around become porous, and as it begins to fade, you feel bubbling around whatever part of your body you would like this to grow on.
I think because let's see. I think because it's
this
like
spore is all about breathing. That is its
I'll
thing.
have him like kind of on my neck, like around my neck, because he's like breath.
So you've got
Almost
like
like
around here,
gills.
I believe,
You know?
like you like on like your trapezius on one side is the gas tyrant spores.
Yeah, he's like on
So
my
you just want
shoulder,
these like under like directly around like the throat and neck area,
yeah, kind of
like where your thyroid.
because on the
and-
back of my head I have the tattoo, so I don't want it there, but like on like kind of
yeah, sure. So you see that like porous holes begin like to form there, and like you can see like the little mushrooms kind of like start to grow in like these sort of gray porous mushrooms that seem to just be breathing. And with that,
Kinda like
I will send you
gills
your
under my
breathing
neck.
fungal growth.
I just kind of like breathe with him in the inner realm. Like, okay, we breathe together, buddy. It's okay. This Grim's just very, very weird.
Okay. Okay, here we go.
mushrooms, the jellyfish of the land. Which is like not even that far off, to be honest.
Okay. Control C. Control V. Give that a read.
Yeah, let me go ahead and add that to my notes real quick.
Yeah.
So that I have it and put it under my other ones.
All right. And with that, that'll complete that section for you. Oren, can you go ahead and roll me a d20, please?
How did I make it so big? This is plain text. There we go.
19.
Damn, I think you won.
You're fine.
That's right
Oh,
next
nice.
to a 1
This
and
time
a
I
3.
swapped it. No, I'm just kidding.
It was right next to a 1 and a 3, man. So.
She's like,
Yeah. One would have been bad. One would have been real bad.
and Oren's dead, and we have an empty, soulless body now.
How many do I start with, by the way? Because like obviously I haven't rested, so I had.
Yeah. So like currently you just have like you have the growth but no transferable
So I
spores
don't
until
have
you've
any.
rested.
Okay.
Until
So
you've rested.
So I started with 0. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I messed up at the bottom. And 4. Yeah. Oops, on the text on the last one.
That's okay.
Anyways, so with that, the week has completed week 9, and as week 10 begins, the dawn in the Quixotic Lock greets you if you guys choose to rest that night. And it is entirely up to you guys what you would like to, how you would like to proceed. Granted, we don't have Sim. Well, there we go.
I'm here. I've been listening. I think we roll out, right? Like as soon as
Roll out.
So, what do you guys want to do with the body? Do you want to just like drag this body around, or you want to like put it in the portable hole or something, or you want to? What do you want to do with the body?
portable hole sounds like a good idea.
How big does the what you call it get?
The bag of holding.
No, the shoot.
There's the amulet.
Sanisphere.
Oh, the Sanisphere. I think it's about 4 foot diameter. The one you have.
Okay, so probably not big enough on its own.
I mean, Arn's amulet, the one he made, would probably be the best choice right now.
Okay.
Oh yeah, did you finish the demiplane amulet?
Yeah, Bropsy has it.
Yeah. I mean, you could. I mean, technically, it's not a willing creature. It's a
Well, willing or unconscious.
or unconscious. It's an unconscious creature. So you could certainly do it. Meanwhile, Kita's MIA.
I'm here. Sorry, I'm dealing with stress stuff. I'm here though.
Yeah.
All right, so you just so yeah, you guys. We'll just say you load it up into the amulet that Bropsy has, and you guys begin to roll out. So are you just immediately leaving the cauldron?
Before
You do
doing
have-
so, Bropsy's grabbing Orin again. Please. This is our
Well,
last
what
chance.
we need to decide on our plan before I think we leave. Just real quick, we should. Who's going inside the realm?
Oh, that's right.
As you're trying to have this conversation, Grim, and trying to get this organized, Bropsy has pulled Orin aside for a small conversation.
We'll wait for them to come back.
Okay.
Sorry, you can continue, Kita.
Orin, are you sure about this? Completely, 100%, because I am still willing. I am scared about what's going to happen.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
scared of
scared
closing
too.
that door.
But here's the thing. I didn't have a choice when I was put into this body or made the way I am right now. I had no say in the matter. I feel like I'm a puppet of Northot at this point. I can't control some stuff that happens to me. And if we do the ritual that sacrifices your divinity, that just keeps me in this longer. I want to be free of Northot. I want to be myself. And I really don't want you to have to sacrifice such a huge part of you to keep me trapped in this body that I'm in now.
I see it as a small sacrifice in the grand scheme of things. But if you're sure, I have to honor your wishes. I might not be happy about it, but I will. You sure?
Me and Raven are sure.
She gives you the biggest hug.
As you guys are hugging and Grim's trying to get everybody organized, Eagleman rides in on Sebastian, passes the two of you, says, "Why are the bird and the one who's going to die soon hugging so hard?"
Because he's going to die soon.
Oh, but he's not, though.
Yes, but it's still a big change, a big transition. You always hug your friends before big changes.
But the Grim doesn't hug.
Well, if they are hugging people, then you hug them before big changes.
I'll have to go read that. I'll have to clarify that afterwards. I'll have to go read it.
I think it makes sense that way. It's just
No,
like,
I just got to go read Tentacular Grasp. So
yeah, it just says +1 action. So I'm like, would obviously, like, I know it's not a spell. Sugar and how it would actually work.
yeah, I'll get back to you. So, your plan? There's like, yes, right. So, who's going where is a good thing to establish before we go. So,
I'm pretty sure
Yes.
I'm doing the inner stuff.
oh yes, well, you're probably going to mostly be catatonic during this. I don't think you'll be using your fists anytime soon.
Not my
Do
physical
we
ones.
need?
Yes,
Does
true enough.
Eagleman need help with the ritual? Do we need one of us
I will be
outside?
requiring people to be outside in case his body goes haywire.
Well, no,
As we are-
obviously you're going to need help. I mean, do you need arcane help with the ritual? Like, do you
I could
need
perhaps use
spellcasters?
somebody to keep things going. I will be deploying an apparatus that I have been perfecting over many years. But the fusion portion I have not done before, so if I have somebody here for, let's say, a bit of sport, in case I mess up, they would maybe be able to guide me a little bit. That wouldn't be bad.
Are the symbols anything at all like the clone symbols? Or no?
As far as the arcane ritual itself that is being used, it's been mixed quite a lot with my own. I would call it, shall we say, science? Is that a word that we've figured out yet? But it's quite scientific.
No, it is science. Science is definitely a word.
Sure.
Most of what Grim does is science.
Yes, of course. Well, yes, science is the main thing here. There's quite a bit of magic being done, but most of it is ensuring the filament does not burn out, which is your lightning struck metal. If that in fact withers, burnt out, or is jostled during the effect, we could effectively lose Orin.
I have 4 pieces of lightning struck metal.
Well, again, only need the one, right? I think that's what I said.
Right, but if you need extra, Grim has extra.
No, I mean his soul will literally be transferring through it and then been duplicated via the spheres. If he's lost via the transfer, he could end up in the ethereal plane, and I'm not sure where he would end up. So the ethereal plane is a mirror of the material world. Selindor itself is a merged place, of which I'm not entirely sure has its own ethereal that it can be attached to. The ethereal might be a full-on swamp vortex that just drags him back to the material's ethereal, if that makes sense.
Yes. Well, I do actually happen to have plane shift prepared if we needed to go there, if we have a tuning fork that might...
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. More specifically, I'm just saying it would be nice to have individuals who are able to assist me in the procedure via, I don't know, an enhancement of ability, or a guidance, or a bardic inspiration, or anything of that nature that could give me some sort of arcane support in the matter.
Seti will need to be inside that
I need to be in the inner realm, right? But I can go in. I don't know if at the moment you complete the ritual, or do I need to be in there while you're doing the ritual?
Yes. So you'll need to be in there during the first half of the procedure for certain. You could certainly leave his old inner realm after we have separated him from Northought properly. The problem is during that, we're not sure what's going to be happening.
I will be staying
inside
in the
or
inner realms
without.
then throughout the whole process. Take Bropsy to help with boosting you. And
yes.
We've got Cleary and Grim for other casters. And then Mitnir can go...
I assume the bird would like to be in there to help coax his soul properly. She's the closest to him.
Well,
I would definitely take Mitnir on the outside, though.
Yeah, Mitnir on the outside, I think.
Mitnir can handle the body, for sure, if something happens with that.
I got the arcane stuff covered, don't worry.
Grim cannot guidance, though. So if you need that kind of assistance...
I don't need it, I just said it might be helpful.
Well,
I can enhance your abilities, for sure.
Grim and
that would be nice.
Bropsy, just give him a little guidance before we go in. And then
you could give him an inspiration in case he needs it, but
I can
that's
also
about
give
it.
an inspiration in case you need it.
Yeah, we'll game this system right the fuck up, guys.
Yeah.
And then Grim can...
And I have Sebastian, unless you want to take him in as well.
I did learn simulacrum, though, so I could make a second SETI.
Well, as much as I think that would tickle your blue friend who you've been sleeping with, I don't think that entirely is necessary for this venture.
I mean, if it's going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight, then, you know...
How long does it take you to build a simulacrum?
Oh, I don't know. I've never done it before.
It's not fast.
Never mind.
Nor is it cheap.
No, it's very expensive.
She also has her inspiration breath thingy. She can give everyone an inspiration.
Oh yeah, it takes 12 hours to make a copy. I should have done that yesterday.
So we'll have... What? Me and Mitnir outside? And the rest of you inside? Or
inside. Cleary could go either way.
I can go either way.
Where do we think the harder battle is going to be?
Well, I feel like I'll be inside by default.
Well, yeah, but I don't know what you'll be capable of doing.
It's my inner realm. I can do a lot.
Larry, do you want to stay outside with the rest of them? And don't
I
know.
think I would be better served with you all on the inside, as I am familiar with inner realms as well as an awakener.
Yes.
Of course, if the
If things
situation
get
should
hairy,
arise...
somebody could maybe drop out.
Yes, I think I would be able to leave in the middle if necessary. You as well, I'm certain. Bobsy might have a hard time getting herself out, so if you do have to leave early, then I will be able to take her out safely as well.
Okay, this
Or
sounds
vice
like a
versa.
good plan. Because it'll be easier to drop out than to pull someone in, I think.
Yes.
And I can keep Mitnir alive,
Yes.
and me and Mitnir can both hold our own pretty well, I think. And we have Egelman, and I mean, he'll be busy.
I'm going to be focused on the ritual, but Sebastian can help you fight.
Sebastian,
If
you
there's
can
a
help us fight. He can eat it. If there's any apples, he'll have it covered.
No movement of the mouth.
Good job, Sebastian. You got this.
Okay, I feel good. As
Well-
good as I'm going to feel anyway.
This sounds like a wonderful plan. Let's, whenever you're all ready, we can begin preparations.
I have most of my spores. How many do I have to give to Mitnir? I'm going to go ahead and give you some spores, actually.
I had spores once. It was uncomfortable.
There's a cream for that.
It is called Athlete Field.
Looking
So
for my
this
stuff
is
to see
all
if there's
day
any-
1 of week 10.
Week
Right.
10.
Yeah.
And after you exit the cauldron, it is 6 a.m. plus however much time you take in the cauldron, depending on the day before you need to give your answer to Inveruna.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm like maxed 16 of these and 16 of those. And only 4, we only have 4 of my new ones. That's how many we got on that one rest, so. That's how many we'll have of those. All right,
Okay.
well, before we get started, I'll give you plenty of. You'll have plenty of spores attached to you. Sorry, Mitnir, I'll turn you into an abomination.
They're very useful spores.
Yes, you'll have my tendrils that do the necrotic damage now do 2d8 damage with each hit.
So
2d8
whenever you
necrotic.
swing, those things deal an additional 2d8, and then
And I'm
whatever.
also going to give you 2 breathing fungal growths that will be giving you 14 regen per round for an hour.
Which
So that's
basically makes you immortal.
I was like, is that 14 hit points per my turn then, essentially?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's
Okay.
pretty cool. And you're immune to disease. So that's pretty cool. and immune to
shit.
poison, and you can breathe underwater. And yeah. So anyway, sorry, let's go.
All right. So, as you, because now that you've reached 4 on your fractures, shit's powerful.
Yep.
All right. So as you guys, I guess, begin to get ready, you head to the lower chambers of the Temple of Vedava, where you see a procession of people getting ready to leave, and you see a lot of the scientists have lined the area around and are like shaking your hand and saying, "Good luck." Mercule pulls down and he says, "Well then, it's been quite a time with all of you. I've grown to think of you all as very well thought of employees. I was going to say family, but that would be a fib. And I
Maybe
don't
distant
deal in fibs.
cousins.
Let's think of it as well-appreciated workers deserving of a bonus."
Oh, thank you. That's
Just
very sweet.
kind of pats you on the head, says, "Well, don't die."
We
Theodore
appreciate
St.
all the
says,
help.
"Oh, I'm going to miss you all so damn much. Everyone around here is so stuffy,
You're a
old,
close
and
cousin.
yeah, I think of you as a young daughter of mine, and I think of you and he puts a hand on Mitnir's face, and I think of you as a son.
I give him a big old hug.
And he looks at he hugs you back and he says, and you, Orin, I think of you as a science project. Sorry, but that's just the way it is. Robsy, I'll always think of you as the one that I find the cutest, the sweetest, and, well, like a little daughter. He pats you on the head again. It's like, your daughters, and you, I will always think of what might have been.
How?
He says to Grim, by the way, he says, I'll always think of what might have been.
What might have been? That mean.
Dreamy eyes and walks away.
It's like, I don't know what that means. What
Exactly. He says, exactly. And he just walks and goes,
Wow, I had no idea
that
he
is
felt that way about any of us.
That's a really weird turtle.
I knew he felt exactly like that about me.
Thank you
says,
all
"Right."
for all your help. It's been so great. We really appreciate it.
If
So-
I survive the transfer, I'll come visit.
Absolutely.
That's a weird golden man with wings.
And I believe in all of you. Best of luck. And remember, we're all counting on you. Good luck, and remember, we're all counting on you. And then as you are about to jump into this whirlpool that takes you out, Cleary just stands on the edge and he's like, I've been practicing for days, but it's just Mitnia.
Shove.
And as you shove him off and everybody else jumps willingly into the whirlpool and exits the quixotic lock, the temple of purity, the cauldron, and goes back to the dark place that is the real world as you know it. We're going to go ahead and end our session there. So thanks so much, guys, for hanging out.
We did it.
Hopefully we'll get to play. We're not going to play next week, I don't think.
Well, maybe. So
Maybe.
we'll talk about it after we
All
take
right.
the stream down.
Maybe we'll be able to play next week. Otherwise, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Or maybe
Or
not.
3
I
weeks.
don't know anymore. But thanks so much for
We'll see
hanging
ya
out,
when we
guys.
see ya.
We'll see you when we see you. And remember, we did it for the
did it
rolls.
for the rolls.
Woo.
Brother Rose.
Woo.